Hello everyone, Louismaster here, and in this video I'm going to be reviewing the 10-inch musical moving figure by B&D. Now, as you can see, I have two of these. I have this B&D Classic Santa Suit version. This is a first gen, and then I have this, which is not exactly a regular Santa suit. It's more of a darker red. The white parts are not as fluffy. They're like thinner and stiff. These ones are more fluffy and thick. And it has this bigger belt and this golden trim around the Santa suit. So what's the main difference? These two, well, besides the suit, of course, these two are made technically by two different companies. This one is made by B&D. This one is not. This one is made by JSint International. Now, it's pretty much the same thing. Like, the quality is really similar. The materials are also really similar. And they were both sold under the name B&D. But one of them isn't made by B&D, but it's made by JSint International, which, let me be clear, JSint International is B&D Group, which means that those two companies work together, and that's why it's technically a B&D one. I just wanted to point out that it's not made by B&D, it's made by JSint, sold by B&D. Now, the main difference is the generation. So these two, this one came first. This one is from 1996. No, sorry, 1998, I think. This one is from 2001. I'm pretty sure it's from 2001 or from 2000. I can't remember. But this is a later version. This one came first. So, this is the box to the B&D one, which I hope you can see. And many of you will notice, hey, this is not a B&D box. Well, yeah, it's not a B&D box. This one was sold at Carrefour, which is a French superstore company, a superstore chain. They sold Santas mainly in France, but they did sell B&D Santas in Italy. This one, for example, as you can see from the import sticker here, it was sold in Italy. It says here, information to keep, decoration item, Carrefour Italy SBA Milan, made in China. So yes, this is the box that this one came and was sold in. It's just a different, box variant technically. But as you can see, it says here about the motion and music function. It shows the musical notes and it shows a 3D model character moving, which is their way to tell you plays music and moves. It doesn't mention anything about the light, but the box is really blank. It doesn't really say anything. It's just this color. And then on the side it says, let's see, where's it? English. Important information. Please keep. This cycle is not a toy. Batteries must not be recharged. Accumulators must be removed from the toy before being charged whenever possible. But yeah, it's all battery stuff. And it says the same thing in like, what, 12 different languages? Yeah, pretty much. Takes two AA batteries, as you can see. And this is how... Wait. This has a B&D item number, I just realized. I mean a JSint item number, but it says 950110. No, 95010B. Because there's many versions. There's A, B, C, D, and every different letter is a different suit. This one is B, which is the regular Santa suit. I'm gonna take my batteries. And well, the main difference besides the generation is that this one says B&D on the bottom. As you can see, I hope you can see it, but it says it says BND on the bottom. This one doesn't. This one doesn't say anything. But as you can see, the the company information, nothing. But as you can see, the battery compartment is pretty much the same. Um, so other difference, the chip is actually different. This one has 14 songs. This one has only 3. And this is a much older chip. Now, I got both of these at the same place, which is a thrift store I go to every Sunday. And during Christmas time they have a lot of older Santas they bring there. And these ones, I was surprised because these are like in new condition. They didn't have any dust, they didn't have any dirt, they didn't really have any sign of wear. This one, the belt came off. I actually had to glue it back, but the belt originally like came undone. This one, I never did anything to it. From the first day I got it to now, still worked great. This one I had to unlock the motor because the motor was locked up, and then I had to check the candle because a wire was off, and it still kind of struggles to move because these only take 2 AA batteries, and that's like 3 volts. And the LED and everything, it takes quite a lot of energy to move it too, because it has a pretty long mechanism. So this one kind of struggles to move. Like you'll hear the pitch wobbling quite a bit. This one never gave me any issue really. The only thing that kind of triggers me is that sometimes the light will stop working and you have to like flick it to make it start working again. Same thing with this one. This one sometimes it will turn on with no light, and you just have to reset like turn it off and on again. Maybe tap the base a bit, but that's like an issue that's on most motionettes that are over 20 years old. And these are from, this one's 24 years old, this one's like 20 years old, 22, 20 maybe. um but yeah, as you can see, the face is also different. This one's got a bigger nose and green eyes. This one's got a smaller nose and bluish eyes. And that's pretty much it. I guess I'm gonna put batteries in them. As you can see, it has a 2. Crap. This is pretty tough to open with one hand. It has the same quality control as my other BND Santas, if it will focus. And it just says past 12. It's the same, yeah, I know, it's the same quality control sticker as the Singing Honey Bass, but just because Singing Honey Bass is made by JSint. So it's that's why they have the same quality control sticker. But yeah, I'm gonna put batteries in it. It's kind of a tight fit. I mean, it's not really a tight fit, but crap, it's turned on. It's kind of a tight fit because I mean you can still move them with your hands, but that's something I like so much about BND, that even their older items still fit new batteries pretty good. Yeah, here's the first one. and then it just loops over and over. I know it's a really, really long activation. It's like a 5 minute long chip, but that's part of the reason I like this motion it so much. It has, if I didn't count them wrong, which I might have, but I think this one has 14 melodies. But yeah, really cool chip indeed. I do know that there are many, many, many Santas made by B&D that have this chip. And if you have seen the Singing Honey Bass video, the Christmas version, if you've seen the Christmas Singing Honey Bass in action before, you can probably tell it has the same exact melodies. Now, the Honey Bass doesn't have 14, it only has like 6 or 7 maybe, I can't remember. But this one has the full recordings. The B&D Singing Honey Bass, the Christmas B&D Singing Honey Bass. And yes, that one is actually made by B&D, not by JSint. Even though it doesn't say B&D on the back, but it was on B&D's website. And that one has the same exact recordings, as you may tell. And that's because this chip is the original source of those recordings. They pretty much took that and then put they took these recordings, they chopped them in parts so that they would have many different audios play one after the other one, and they just slammed a Douglas fir audio in front of it, and that's how that chip was born. And Singing Honey Bass wasn't the first item to use that chip either. There's been hip swinging Santas that use the same chip. There's been, I think there was one of those like guitar playing Santas. No, it wasn't a guitar playing one. I can't remember what it was, but it was a B&D hip swinger item that had the same chip. And there's just many items made by B&D that have that exact same chip. And so if you were wondering, yes, this is where the audios came from. Now moving on to the JSint one. This is the JSint version. As you can see, like the beard is less fluffy, the suit is like smaller and not as detailed. And it doesn't, the big difference we can tell if they're earlier or if they're later. The bass on the earlier ones is like, has like a slight wood grain on top of it as well. And these it doesn't. On these it's just smooth. And you can really tell from the pictures because this one's a bit more gray and this one is a bit darker. So yeah, that's you can tell. Also, this one is much, much louder than this one. This one, in a display, you probably won't hear it as much, but this one will always stand out. I can tell you because last year when I set the display up and I played them all together, this one you could constantly hear this one playing, but you barely could hear the you could barely hear. Oh crap! You could barely hear this one. Okay, I'll put batteries in this one. Same stuff. Take Stu A's. This one is a bit more tricky to put the batteries in. I don't know why exactly, but and this one tends to be a bit tricky to activate because sometimes it will wobble, like the audio will wobble, sometimes the candle won't light up like I said. So and that's the chip. Now, as you probably heard, yes, this is not. Yeah, they still make items with this exact chip, even though nowadays they tend to be the cheaper version that's like super generic, and that has the really simple main track, and it doesn't have any bass or anything. The one they use in like 2010 era motionettes, pretty much. And these are, I will say, these are pretty rare. You don't see these very often. This one you see it pretty often. It's not such a rare one. It's rare with this box. This box is much rarer than the item itself. Um, I've never seen any other to have this box, but I know for a fact that this is the original box. And if you check, it fits perfectly when it's got when the arms are closed. It fits perfectly. So, and then it says the same thing, and it has a B&D item number, so you can tell it's this one's box. So B&D made a lot of Carrefour exclusives. The Boeing Santa that is going to be reviewed on this channel as well by B&D, the one that has the generic Santa Claus coming to town recording that bows down with the checkered shirt. That one as well is a Carrefour exclusive. And then they made tricycle Santas with like red, like purplish red suits. Those are as well Carrefour exclusives. And then they made a lot of motionettes. They made a hip swinging one, the Rock Along Santa, that was a Carrefour exclusive. It has a complete Santa suit, and then it has glasses. And it's made by Joint Smart, but sold at Carrefour. That one isn't like exclusive to Carrefour, but mostly sold at Carrefour. And there's just so many Santas made by them, sold at Carrefour. But yeah, these are the two 10-inch musical moving figures. And what else? There's really not much else to say about it. The candle is also bigger on this one, if you haven't noticed. And the material is like different. This one's more of a plastic. This one is a bit rougher and denser plastic. The same plastic that's used in the mechanism of the honey bass, pretty much. But with the only difference that this one doesn't yellow. And then, I mean, that's pretty much it. That's really pretty much it. The mechanism is just one of those generic motionette mechanisms. The thing I like about these is that you can actually take the torso apart, like you can split the torso in two. On some motionettes, like on the Uru players, you can't. You just slide the mechanism out from the top, but you can't open the body shell. And it's pretty bad. I mean, this is much better. And yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and see you next time.